What's going on, guys? It is me, your boy, Flash Jones, back again with another video. And we just got another layout for you right now. Alright? So, with that being said, let's jump right on into it. Alright, so, like I was saying, I just got another layout update for you guys. And this video is just going to be entailing pretty much what I was able to get done over the last week. I was gonna make a video yesterday, but I just didn't get around to do it, or 2 days ago, but I just didn't get around to doing it. So um, here's that video, just updating you guys on what it is that I was able to accomplish this last week, and I'm gonna show you guys that. So looking at this area, you guys can see that I ended up pulling out those two switches that were back in this area. They were kind of going opposite of each other, butting up right against each other. I pulled that out because what I wanted to do was have one track coming off here to the left for the yard and one track coming off here to the right. But doing it that way, I would not have had enough clearance to get a good enough curve off of it before it would have ran into the bridge piers on either side. And so I decided to do it this way with just the number 4 switch back there behind this little wooden block. And that was the start of the lead for diesel service, the diesel service area. Okay. And I actually like how this turned out. It took me a long time throughout the day, on both days, Wednesdays and Thursday, to get this just the way that I wanted it to look, the way that I wanted it to look, with a nice, even, smooth curve, straight tracks leading into the diesel houses, stalls. It took a long time to get everything perfect the way I wanted it to be, but I'm glad I took my time, because one thing I told myself was that I wasn't gonna rush anything when it came to the next layout. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. And I'll touch more on that specific type of thing here in a second. But I got, 9 tracks, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got 9 tracks in. Obviously, I don't need that many tracks. But one thing that I do plan to do with this layout is to do a lot of reviews, locomotive reviews, and like rolling stock reviews, even though it all might not be able to fit as far as rolling stock, because it's easy to acquire that and it takes some space depending on how large of a car it is. But what was I gonna say? I guess I got 9 tracks in, and they come pretty far back. They come pretty much where that drill is where the main that will go up the hill will be. So they come pretty far back. I mean, you could probably fit an engine. Let's say this is an engine. You could probably fit just about, and obviously this box car is a lot longer than an engine, but that could pretty much fit just past the diesel house here where it cuts off. You could easily fit at least one engine there, diesel engine, on each one of these tracks. And there's 6 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and there's 6 tracks on this back area. So you easily fit at least one engine there. And then saying, again, this is a locomotive. 2, 3. So you figure 3, maybe 4 locomotives per track. So 6 tracks, 4 engines. You're looking at 24 engines on just these. Oh, and that was just these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the back track. Yeah, I knew that was in the way. You could probably fit, let's say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 5 to 6 on the truck. That one there. So you can fit up to, let's just say up to 30 locomotives on just these tracks here all the way around. So it's possible that I might acquire that many I may or may not, but nevertheless, I just wanted to have the capacity there. Obviously, this is not a huge layout. This type of this big of a diesel service area is not warranted for this type of layout, but it's what I wanted to do because I wanted to have all my locomotives out on the layout at all times. I didn't want to have them out and then back in the box. So that's what I wanted to do. And then not even including the stall tracks, you could fit, let's say, 3 or 4 in there, and then maybe 1.5 in the actual diesel house itself. So up damn near 40 locomotives could fit on just the diesel service area, and that's not even touching the switches. So 40 locomotives could fit in this area. It wasn't the plan to fit 40, but it just happened that way. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm happy the way that it turned out because the other way that this was going to happen was there was going to be a set of switches, a number 4 left turning off this way, and number 4 left turning off this way. I'm sorry, number 4 left and number 4 right. And I was going to do it that way. And the more I thought about it, the more it didn't look right in my mind. So I decided to not do it that way. So that's why I decided to do it this way as far as the diesel service lead coming off that way, all the tracks. And just in this area, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 number 4 right hand turnouts in just the diesel service area. So another thing that I'm throwing around in my head is, well, I'll get to that next. But nevertheless, pretty much, and I also, obviously, if you can't tell, the diesel house is in, it's recessed. Go below, you can kind of see there. Yeah, you can easily see there. I'm gonna cut that out with my jigsaw, and I'm just using some Home Depot paint sticks to just, like, what I did was I obviously cut the hole, as you can see, and then just at the very ends, and then okay, like I said, I cut the hole. I placed those sticks there, screwed them in, and then just placed the diesel house in the hole that I made, and it fits pretty much. Long story short, it works, it fits, it does what I needed to do, and it holds it up. So, like I said, I got the diesel house in. I just got to finish up some stuff there and finish off that build series. I know we kind of stalled on that, but I'll get back on that. No worries there. I just wanted to get some progress done. So yeah, pretty much as far as, let's say, operational wise, diesel service is done. Okay, but here's the only thing that I'm thinking about now. Like I said, I already told myself that I'm not gonna force anything. If it works, it works. One thing I am thinking about is adding this switch here. Okay, by adding that switch there, it would force this far track, the one that's closest to the edge of the benchwork, to act as a double. A double being both a yard lead and a diesel house stall or diesel house stall, and a diesel service track. Temporarily, I mean, obviously, if this is the only track getting into the yard, this track would have to be clear pretty much at all times. One reason why that's okay with me is because I only wanted 5 tracks in here. I ended up being able to squeeze 6, and I can only even say squeeze because it wasn't like it was tight. And in all honesty and real, being realistic, I could have fit more than 6 tracks in this little area. If I'm not mistaken, this is over 16 inches. So if I really wanted to, yeah, 16 inches. And let's just say they all have 2 inches of space in between. That's 8 tracks minimum. If I really wanted to. And since it's a yard on straight, or I can't think today. It's early. Not yard tracks, but staging tracks for locomotives on straight. They're not curved. I could have made it 1.5 distance and space. Um, if I really wanted to, if I really wanted to squeeze more track in there, but I didn't really want to squeeze as much track as possible. I wanted to get in, have it, look kind of organized, not cluttered, not jammed together. Um, I didn't want it to look like that at all. So I just stuck six in. I was able to get six in. I didn't really want six, like I said, but I was able to get it. So I'm happy with that. But like I said, one thing that I'm tossing around in my head now is to put this kind of reversing switch, so to say, reverse, and instead of having it just strictly diesel, to be a yard lead as well, and just build my ladder off of this switch, off of the the turnout, and build my yard ladder this way, and then build the yard into all this area that has since been cleaned up just a little bit. All my extra stuff is over here, track, crap, you know what I mean? Just stuff just thrown over here just for right now, so I can get to it. Because obviously this area was cluttered. So um, that's one thing I am tossing in my head right now. If I don't do it that way, then the yard will be on wait until I can get some more number four right hand switches. Um, and thinking of it, I'm gonna need about five, six of them most likely, just because I wanna have a good amount of staging. As far as you can see, I mean, yes, there's stuff here, but this is still pretty much from the edge of the layout to the riser. I'm still looking at almost 3 feet right there. So there's a lot of space here that I have to stick track in or anything in really. But what I am thinking that I want to do, I kind of really thinking that I want to put that switch there because it'll allow me to build a nice ladder off that switch. Okay, I have a lot of number four left hands in stock that I have not used because I use all my number four right hands in the ladder area for the diesel service. So if I build that, I get to use the number four lefts. I could build the yard lead, and then once that the yard tracks get over into this area, I have two number four right hands remaining. I can use both of those to kind of make it like another kind of switchback kind of looking thing, and have it come back into this area, fill in the gap. Because one thing that I did want is a intermodal area, or just something off of the yard tracks. Maybe we can call it for bad ordered cars or whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to have a couple extra tracks to really fill in all of my layout. Not necessarily track everywhere doing everything, but me personally, I'm not really big on scenery. When I get to my master grand layout and when I get the house in the basement, then I worry about scenery because I have so much space that if I just stuck track everywhere, it would look like a big bowl of spaghetti. So I'm not really gonna worry about scenery. I have ideas for this if I can get to them before I like am forced to move or before I plan to move again. Then hopefully I can get to that. But this since this layout is small and I'm kind of picky. I want to do a lot. I want to have all my trains out if I could and do everything that I want to do and not feel like I wish I could have did this or I wish I could have did that. I don't want to feel like that. So um, it's gonna be a lot of track, but it won't be like jam packed with track because if you want to be honest, I could have stuck at least two more tracks in this big area, this big open area, even where those blocks of wood are. I could have still have fit a lot of track back in there. If I really wanted to, I could have put a number four right off of that lead off of that stall track there, and have them break off and give me two more, one at least one or two more tracks back there, and I could have called that a bad order track for locomotives or something. You know what I mean? There's a lot of space that I can still jam track in, but I don't want to just jam track anywhere. What I want to do, like I said, is have this switch come here, build my yard lead and ladder off of that switch, and then bring it around, fill in, and then bring back a couple tracks this way to fill in the gap that will be left over. Because initially, um, there was gonna be now obviously there's switches there, but there's gonna be a number four right about there, and then I would have built my yard lead and ladder off of this track here, going off to the right. You know what I mean? So a lot of it would have been built off that, and then it would have filled in, and it would have came up near these switches here as far as they could have and whatnot, and it would have looked more more not I don't want to say prototypical. It would have looked more what's the word I'm looking for? It would have looked a little bit more normal as compared to a diesel track being converted into doubling as a yard lead and a diesel track. You know what I mean? So, but hey, that's the good thing of model railroading. It doesn't have to be prototypical. It doesn't have to be the way that somebody else wants it. You can have it the way that you want it to be, and that's what I'm thinking. If I do it this way, obviously this track might, depending on the curve, it might hang over. I don't know. I got to play around with it, but that's what I'm thinking. Now back to earlier what I was saying. I've been having some issues. Not really. Some minor setbacks, so to say. The bridge area, the bridges themselves are fine, but getting them in has been a headache. And had I known that it has been a headache, I would not have done it. I probably would have done it because I wouldn't have been able to get that track coming through the center. So I would have to figure out something, but I would have been able to figure it out easier than having to have glued them in and have it set this way. Um, if if this thing still pisses me off by the time like next week or the week after, and I'm still not able to get them in, what I might end up doing is I have another section of risers that I could put there, and I could bring it up to this middle area so that at least one bridge will fit. But right now, and this is the problem, I'll tell you guys. Woodland Scenics is fine. These risers are fine. Okay. The problem is that these bridge pier sets from Walters, you have to make your own. You have to customize it. There's no exact 100% exact way to get them to the exact height that they need to be in order for the track entering the bridge to butt up right here. It's either high or it's low because like I said, you got to make custom cuts and you got to get them just right. So as you can see here, all four of these are different heights because it's hard to get it to be the exact height that you need to do. So that's why I started experimenting with those blocks. If I figured I could get some wood cut to the height that it needs to be, then I could just do it that way. But that didn't really work out. I almost had it, but it just didn't work out the way that I needed to. So like I said, if this thing continues to piss me off, I'm not going to force it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I'd rather have it work than look good. Although I'd rather have it both ways. Like I said, I'm not going to force it. I forced a lot of things in the last layout, and it didn't turn in my favor. Or it took a whole lot of extra work that it didn't really need. And I don't want to be put back in that situation. So right now, I'm going to try to get both bridges in because I like the way that it looks, to a train going through the bridge, and then the nice little backdrop area that I would have. In the big overall scheme in my brain, it would look gorgeous. But if it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work. What I am thinking that I'm going to try next is cut out maybe this piece here and then sitting the bridge in here and seeing how that works, because then all I'd have to worry about is the center pier set to hold it up physically. Because if I do it the way that I want to do it now, it will not be held up by the bridge shoes. It will be held up via the bridge itself, like the edge girders, on the girders that are on the very end, being those there. So not these little shoes. It would be literally hanging on the end there. So that is the next thing that I'm gonna try. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't work out, it may end up being one bridge because I'm not gonna force it. And that's the only thing that's keeping me from putting the track in for this upper level. Mainly because I already did the distancing with the track. I already got the tracks soldered together, staged. I just gotta put them all out and connect them all and get them through the bridges. Um, they come where that screw is where it'll come up to 4 tracks. Either 4 tracks or 3 tracks will come up to butt up right there. And I got the same thing on the far one. You see that little shiny little screw right there, almost in the center of the screen. Same thing. And then I want to decide if I want to glue the track to the bridges itself, or or not glue it. You know what I mean? So that's one other thing I'm thinking about as well. I don't know yet. But either way it goes, the tracks leading up to the bridges will have to be soldered because number one, it's on a curve. And number two, I'm like, obviously I'm not gonna have any feeder wires going through the bridges. So I need 100% electrical conductivity or connectivity or whatever you want to call it. I need it to be 100% electrically live going through both of these bridges. So everything will kind of have to be soldered. So that's another thing that I'm debating whether or not in my head as well. But like I said, the next step, the next step that I'm going to be working on is seeing if I want to go through with this idea. I got one track. I don't know. Oh, one other thing that I completely forgot to mention. The outer line, the track that's screwed in back there, the track right there, it's operational. I got the whole track. I got the layout wired. So realistically, if I really wanted to power up the diesel surface area, I could just by turning the layout on. Yeah, it's all working. If you guys don't believe me, there's a on my YouTube channel, I post a short little video of me running these 3 cars. This is my little test train. These both this auto rack here and this box car let me know if my curves are too tight. These are the longest cars that I have. I have multiple ones of them, but these are the longest ones that I have. And if the curve is too tight, those cars will be the ones to tell me, because those are the ones that are the most picky about tightness of curve. If it's even a hair under 18, the wheels grind together and they don't move smoothly. And if it's not, obviously then it moves extra smooth like butter. You know what I mean? So yeah. But like I said, the next thing for me is to be determining how I want to do the yard and because then at that point I can pull out a bunch of rolling stock and stage it on the tracks and whatnot. And then once I do some more thinking, I'll figure out what I want to do with the dang on bridge set and figure out how I want to do all that. So from last week to where we are now, last week the layout was much more of a mess than it was now. None of it was powered. Now I've made some changes in the back. The layout is powered. And I have all of diesel service in and completed. Now that's a lot of work. I tell you, this was a lot of work. A lot of thinking, a lot of planning in my mind. And me being a perfectionist, it took me a little longer than I wanted to. But nevertheless, that's where we are now. Like I said, the next step will be for me determining what I want to do as far as that goes, then determining how I'm going to get the bridges in, and then I'm going to worry about the diesel house. And every time I say something like that, it always ends up reversing in order. So I'm just going to go with the flow. Whatever I come into the train room and looks like it's going to be the easiest or the best opportunity for the day to get the most work done, then that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to end off this video. It's been a little while already. But that's where we are now. If you guys have any ideas as far as how to get this bridge set in, please tell me. And I think I kind of didn't explain everything, but as far as this bridge pier set from Mall Threads goes, it's hard to make the cut to get it to be exactly the height that you need it to be, unless you can get your dimensions 100% accurately easily. And obviously I couldn't. That's why all 4 of those are different heights, and it's giving me issues obviously because of the bridge too high. It won't butt up with the pier with the risers just right. You know what I mean? So obviously it gave me issues. I couldn't get it even 4 whacks at it, and I still couldn't get him to be the right height. So, um, like I said, this is your boy Flash Jones. Stay tuned to my Instagram channel. There will be where oh my god, there will be where all the quickest updates will be for those who are following there. But yeah, like I said, this is your boy Flash Jones. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys have a great week this week. Be safe, be yourself. Be safe. And until then, this is your boy Flash Jones. I'm out. Deuces.